Welcome to the state of Ohio. I'm Karen Kassler. This week brought another hearing on Governor Mike DeWine's gun violence package. It's one of several gun-related bills that state lawmakers are reviewing. Some increase regulations, such as expanding background checks, banning bump stocks and high-capacity magazines, and increasing the power of courts to seize weapons. But some go the other way, lifting restrictions, such as the training requirement for carrying a concealed weapon, or the duty to retreat before using deadly force in a public place, as in the Stand Your Ground bill. State House correspondent Andy Chow visited a gun shop and shooting range in Central Ohio to talk to gun owners about these proposals.
Doug Gates is fitting in some target shooting during a day at work at the LEPD gun shop and shooting range in Columbus. Gates is a Marine who specializes in weapons training. The LEPD gun shop is a popular spot for gun owners in North Columbus. Co-owner Eric Delbert said he wanted to open the shop not only to sell guns, but to focus on training.
And it really came from a passion for firearms that my father and I really went back. We were both in law enforcement, and so in law enforcement we had a passion for firearms and the whole industry, and decided to start a store and to cater towards law enforcement and concealed carry.
Lately, Delbert has been getting involved in the gun debate on the local and state level. He even accompanied Governor Mike DeWine during a press conference where the governor called on improving data entry into the criminal background check system. When it comes to debating gun regulations, Delbert says it's important for all sides to talk it out.
I'm not saying that our industry is perfect, but if we're serious, if we're going to stand side by side and affect change, let the experts in on the discussion, because we know what we can do to affect change.
Delbert says he's concerned that strengthening regulations tend to only affect law-abiding citizens and that the bad actors won't comply. For example, if the state requires background checks for personal transfers, how would that be executed? Delbert blames politics and the media for the difficulty in having productive conversations about these questions.
The argument is being done at the political level and at the media level, and nothing happens. Like we said from the beginning, we're all against gun violence. We're all against keeping the guns out of the hands of criminals. It seems so simple, but how do you get there? They need to let the experts in on the discussion.
That's a common sentiment echoed in and out of the State House, that advocates who raise money on the premise of hot-button gun issues tend to not budge on debates in order to reach common ground. For example, several polls have shown as many as 90% of Ohioans support universal background checks. This would involve ensuring that a background check is required even through personal transfers. A group has a plan to put that before the legislature and then possibly to voters. They're gathering signatures for that now. But gun lobbyists have yet to support such a measure. Meanwhile, Chris Taranovich of Columbus has a more nuanced stance on gun regulations.
I'm all for, Second Amendment right, but it's just like the way the world's changing is we need to adapt to that. And just like as far as background checks and stuff like that go, I'm all for it. And the more they can scrutinize that, the better.
Taranovich has been familiar with guns since childhood. He grew up target shooting with his dad, and together they collect antique firearms. Taranovich says they have about 15 historic guns dating back to World War I. Taranovich is among many gun owners where the issues are not necessarily black and white. He's for stronger background checks, but he's against a so-called assault weapons ban. He wouldn't mind a ban on 100-round magazines, and he thinks the Stand Your Ground bill, which removes the duty to retreat in dangerous situations, makes sense. Taranovich says part of the problem when it comes to the debate on guns is that there are people who are unfamiliar and therefore uncomfortable around guns.
They see this gun they see the AR-15 or the AK-47, and it looks pretty intimidating. Yeah, they're like, oh, that's a military gun. But there's there's guns out there that could do way more damage, say if you went into some public place with them, than an AR-15, but everyone just loves to hate that platform because of what it looks like, and they really don't know what it is.
As Delbert points out the elements of an AR-15 that were forbidden during the federal assault rifles ban that expired in 2004, he says gun owners and gun control advocates need to find an understanding. Take high-capacity magazines. As Delbert questions, if they suddenly become illegal, who will turn them in?
That's the concern from gun owners. yeah, I'm going to do the right thing because I'm a law-abiding citizen and I'm going to turn it in, but the guys on the street aren't. So where does that get us? You know, and those are the ones, arguably, that you don't want to have them. They're the ones doing harm. So you're not going to pull it out of them.
Gun owners don't speak with one voice. Several open carry rallies have been held at the State House and around Ohio, with advocates taking a firm stance against any proposals. But there are other gun owners who invite a more open conversation about the issues. Andy Chow at the Ohio Public Radio State House News Bureau.